How do you buy properties with multiple owners? My name is Kris Krohn, and that's been my specialty for the last 1.5 decades, is buying properties by bringing people together. You see, in real estate, 1 + 1 people can equal 11. In other words, we can accomplish a lot more than we certainly can individually on our own. And today, I'm gonna break it all down how.
'Cause we're gonna be legends. What we're doing here ain't just scary. It's about to be legendary.
In doing any deal, generally, there are 4 different components. So if we were to say, this is the pie that represents the deal, then one of those parts is someone has to actually find the deal. Someone has got to bring the money to the table. Someone's got to put up the credit with the bank so that you don't have to put up all of the money, just a small portion. And lastly, someone's got to manage the deal. I believe wholeheartedly that you should only do the parts that you feel strongest about, and then otherwise bring in others. So when we're talking about buying properties with multiple people, who are these multiple people? Well, here's a real common one. In my world, I find all the deals and I manage the whole strategy long term, and the partners that I often bring to the table, they put up the money, and usually they also put up the credit. And at the end of the day, if I'm doing this and this and they're doing this and this, that equates to a 50-50 partnership. Now I want to drop a really important tip on you right now. In this scenario, there's only 2 people involved in buying the property. The moment you involve more than 2, you run the risk of becoming a security. And all of a sudden you have different laws that you have to abide by. That's governed by the Security Exchange Commission in America. I can't speak for other countries. But what that means is, let's say that someone was doing the deal, another partner was managing, someone else is bringing the money, someone else uses their credit. Now we've got 4 people involved in the deal, and all of a sudden, security laws might prohibit that type of partnership. They might say, hey, it sounds like you guys might be raising funds and involving different parties. So for me to keep it safe, I usually keep it to 2. If I need a 3rd person, it's usually because the person with the money can't put up the credit, and I have a way of bringing in a credit partner without putting them in the LLC, so we stay a 2-person deal, but we rent somebody's credit. So what I want to do for you today is I actually want to break down exactly what this looks like so that you can understand how this turns into practical application. Before I go further on how to do this, I want you to understand that with partners always comes the potential for liabilities. There's some disadvantages. Obviously, there are advantages. With their resources, you can do things that you couldn't do on your own. But there are also some serious disadvantages that you need to take a look at. One is, how well do you know this other person, and what happens if there's a personality conflict or there's a strategy conflict? Can you resolve it, or do you just part ways and sell the home and people, wind up less advantageous than when they had started? Unfortunately, I've experienced this before. So I think it's important for you to evaluate the character of the person that you're doing business with. And when I evaluate a person's character, I look at how teachable and reasonable are they, and I also look at how negative versus positive they are. Because if I've seen 2 character traits really unwind deals, the first one is just a really stubborn, closed-minded person that is only willing to see things with their perception, and they're not open to other ideas or teachability. For me, that's a problem. We're not going to actually partner or do deals together if that's the case. The other, though, is someone that is overwhelmed with fear or scarcity mindset. They lean towards the negative. The property is in its 5th week, it's not rented yet. The property's not rented yet. Oh my gosh, what happens if it never rents? And that person can become, frankly, a drain on your life, and that energy needs to be managed. So I tend to find people that are going in with a promising attitude and a promising energy, and also ones that understand, hey, investing doesn't always go the way we want. Let's find out how we're gonna act when it doesn't. And as long as I don't have those 2 personality issues there, we're usually game to go. So I want you to be thinking that just because someone has money or a different resource or a deal, it doesn't mean that they're the right person for you to do business with. I want you to put them through these other 2 filters I just shared with you. Let me walk you through what this looks like when I actually partner with people and we're actually doing deals. There's always an order, there's a perfect sequence to things. So when I have found a partner, usually in my situation, I bring the deals and I do all of the work, and I've got the track record with 200 experts on thousands of deals. So they come into the situation knowing, okay, Kris can deliver. The goal is to multiply the property every 5 years and to double things, right? If we start with 5 properties, then in 5 years we want 10 properties. In other words, we're always starting off, number one, with an alignment on strategy. And they basically understand, Kris, you're doing the deals and you're bringing the deals and you're going to manage all the real estate. And my partners are usually the funding partners. They have hidden assets in 401ks and IRAs, and they're pulling from those to be able to purchase real estate. Once we're totally clear on the strategy, the second thing that ends up happening is we will actually find a deal. At roughly around the same time, we are going to establish our LLC, which is a business entity, a limited liability company that the real estate will all be placed into for protection and form the identity of our partnership. And we're going to open up a bank account. Basically, the bank is for how we're going to manage the money. The LLC is for how we're organizing the business. And the deal is what makes it all possible. Once I have those things going, then the third thing that happens is now we're going to do our due diligence, we're going to purchase the property, and we're going to do any fix-up that was called out on the particular deal. It might be $2,000 or $5,000 or $8,000 of cosmetics, paint and carpet, and things like that. After that, this property goes into long-term management, where me and my team will be doing the day-to-day of the property and reporting on everything occurring. We're going to find the tenants, we're going to manage them, we're going to be approving any repairs that need to happen along the way, generating reports on how much positive cash flow, how the bank account is affected, how it's growing. And then the fifth and final step is, when is the right time to exit this property and multiply? How do we put this into more deals? Those are the 5 steps that I have when I work with my partners. And that just gives you an example of what it looks like when people work with me. Hopefully it gives you an idea that if you were the one doing the deals, what you'd want to be doing or how you'd structure that. But in my case, people come to me and say, Kris, I want access to your team. I want access to your deals. I want you guys to walk me through this entire process. You've done it so many times. If you click the link below in the description, it's all about partnering with me, and it has many different forms. So you can look more into actually what that means and what that looks like. And so check that out. But most importantly today, what I wanted to do was basically share with you, when you're involving multiple buyers, have clarity on who's going to be doing what, make sure there's an alignment in strategy, vision, and system, and then execute it, make that deal happen. In the end, we'll hold the property in LLC. So the person with the credit and money might be buying it. It'll get transferred into the LLC that is co-owned 50-50 by both of us. I'll take care of the management. And when it comes time to sell, it's time to multiply and keep on basically growing the strategy onward and upward. Hey, thank you so much for watching today's video. Hopefully it answered your questions and helped you understand what it looks like for you to actually transact properties with multiple people involved. Hopefully you got a better idea of some of the legalities. And for those of you that are saying, wait a second, how can I actually step into some of Kris's assets and team to actually do this for me? You can find all of that below in the description. And other than that, friend, make sure that you are a subscriber. Share this video. I love it when people post these on their social media and help get the word out there, because this content is dedicated to help you grow your life. Click the link, get with me and my team. Let's figure out what we can do together. And otherwise, subscribe, and I will see you on tomorrow's video.